It's happening, it's happening.
Oh my god.
That's why you listen to me! Oh, wait a minute, let me change my icon. Yeah, guess what, fuckface?
Okay, great podcast, guys. See you next week.
Bye, back to bed.
This is a great Bob Dylan tribute podcast. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Guys,
done.
guys, sorry that it sounds like
Bob Dylan's everything we do here.
Sorry that it sounds like I'm being swallowed by a whale's vagina, but I'm technically am because I'm at work.
You
My
really-
office. My office
You
was
do
not
sound like you've
built.
been swallowed by a whale.
Yeah. We moved into this space a month ago, and they're still filling it out. And I'm hoping they're adding soundproofing because this shit is fucking horrendous.
You could fill the room with crumpled
like it.
newspapers.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna record my album in here, I'll do anything besides work in this office. I do my podcast in here.
Yeah.
I do my grocery shopping.
I like it.
One of our monkeys celebrated her birth
Uh,
this week. Happy birthday, monkey.
Which one?
Thank you. It
What'd
was
you do for your birthday?
my birthday last Thursday. What did I do for my birthday? I did a lot of things for my birthday. I went out to lunch with our mother, our collective mother, and we went to the Cheesecake Factory.
Perfect.
It was wonderful. And so I don't know, have you ever talked to Mom about the astrologist that she consults? I doubt she talks to you about this stuff, but she talks to me about it because I think she consults her astrologist more about me than she does about her. And yep, this is a woman named Shanti from Vancouver, Canada, and
This story gets
Shanti told
better.
Mom. Yeah, yeah. Shanti told Mom that Venus is going to come into my house for the next 20 years, which apparently is a really awesome thing.
Which is actually Shanti's
And-
cousin from British Columbia.
Right.
Who doesn't have anywhere
Right.
to live.
Right, is going to go live with Mom. Or with me, maybe, in my house. But anyway, so Shanti told Mom that she should buy me I should own a white topaz because apparently white topaz helps bring Venus into my house faster. So Mom got me, I don't know if the video viewers can see this, but I got this big bling-in diamond-looking necklace, and it's white topaz, and it's meant to bring Venus into my house even sooner than Venus was supposed to come already. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to Venus arriving. I don't know when
Does
that's
the
going to happen. I don't know what it
astrologer say,
means.
Does the astrologer ever say, you're fucked, run for your life? Do they say anything bad?
I don't think so. The astrologer, no. Not to my knowledge. If she ever said anything bad, Mom doesn't tell me about it.
Right.
She said things like, I'm basically regressing emotionally, I'm becoming more of a child as I get older, which I can't figure out if that's actually happening on its own, or I just found out the astrologist said that and kind of have begun to do that in my life.
I don't want to scare you or anything, but
Yeah.
when I worked at AOL, we had an admin named Venus Adore, and she's a giant black woman, and she sings for B-52's cover band. So I really think that's who's moving in with you.
I
can
hope
see you guys
so.
in bunk beds right now. Yeah.
I hope
I'll circulate a picture. I'll tweet out her photo after. But for
That'd
those
be
of
good.
you who are by a computer, just go to Facebook and search Venus Adore, and you'll see Liz used to have that hairstyle back in 2005 when she used to abide by the rules of dress and love.
Yeah.
Wait, Liz. Not that I'm not super excited about this psychic thing.
Penis.
Um,
Yes.
What did MGH eat at Cheesecake Factory? Because I always love to know what people's go-to dish is at Cheesecake Factory.
Well, it was funny because whenever my mom and I hang out, we both kind of get really flustered because, you know, it's a mother-daughter relationship and everything is always a little bit fraught. And also, like, we just end up shooting the shit and, like, we can't concentrate. And so basically, my mom was like, I'll do whatever you're having. I'll just have whatever you're having. And I was like, oh, Mom. I was like, great, I'll have the salmon salad. And she's like, oh, I don't want that. Salmon's gross. She's like, you always get salmon. I hate salmon. I'm like, then why did you say you were going to get the same thing as me? And so she got the chicken Caesar.
Okay. It's the easiest
That's a
place to
bummer.
choke because the menu is about 80 pages long, and then they give you specials, which are another 15 minutes to recite. Yeah. So you always just wind up like making a game time decision. And regardless of what it is, it's going to make you shit and it's going to make you fat. So you pretty much should just chew cud while you're sitting at a Cheesecake Factory.
Right.
I'm a fucking awesome orderer.
Yeah, I had the same salad.
Restaurant.
Oh, you invented Meat
there
Buddies,
was so much.
so I'm
and then I
not
ate
surprised.
cheesecake. Oak, are you rich off that yet, or what? How are Meat Buddies going?
Good. I've been selling them
Yes.
in front of my house. It's been great. I painted a sign with a can of paint and a small paintbrush on a plywood that said "Meat Buddies" with one of the D's backwards.
Well, the good news is if this business isn't lucrative, you could launch your own gay porn site and use the same sign.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I bought the website meatbuddies.com. Actually, why have I not checked?
You could just turn the D's into T's.
Google could not find meatbuddies.com. All right.
Buy
D's.
that shit.
Oh, did you mean
Turn the
Meat Buddies?
D's into T's for savings.
Hold on, we're gonna see if anyone owns this.
Yeah, and then what else did I do? And then I went to a barbecue at my baby best friend's house. Did you guys know this? That my best friend is 2 years old. Joelle James Cook.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. What do you guys talk about?
Yeah, she's pretty much. We talk about how her cousin's dog died, and we talk about the meaning of life. We talk about the beach. We talk about cooking. We share a lot of things with each other, and she.
What's her
She
opinion
really
on the
gets
meaning of
it.
life?
She gave me her. She's just everybody dies is basically her thesis. And she's kind of at terms with it, which is really cool of her.
That's accurate.
She gave me a bonsai tree for my birthday, and Byram and our friends Jen and Martha gave me an air plant, and so everyone's giving me small plants for my birthday.
There you go.
So obviously I had no idea how to even find something like that. I think that was just Martha who found it. And I first thought it was like a bomb.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, when she sent the picture, I was like, where do you light that shit? Because it's just like this glass dish, and then you just have this like weed-looking plant in it. And I was like, this is weird. But I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
God bless.
Well, you know,
It's true.
in some
love
in some cities,
I also really love the skull shot glasses you guys got me.
in some cities you can go into like a gas station and they sell what's called a glass rose. And it's basically like just a little like paper rose inside like a small glass tube. But what it really is a crack pipe. But you can't sell crack pipes, so you like disguise it as something else.
Right,
But-
so you have to sell it.
right. But if you
Glass
go
rose,
into one of these
see.
convenience stores and buy a glass rose, everyone knows damn well you're getting it to smoke crack. So.
Well, it's
Maybe
like when you
that's-
buy an adult massager. You're not massaging your fucking shoulders with that thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe the
That
air
is-
plant actually is a bomb.
I bought one for my dad.
Maybe
so
there
I have some
is a bomb.
explaining to do.
I will figure out.
Byron, you bought your dad a crack pipe?
No, I bought him a body massager.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least he doesn't have any pajama pants to wear with that. So
Yeah. No, that wasn't my dad. That was my friend's dad. Oh shit! I almost forgot to mention
Oh, that's
because
right, that's right.
as segues go, my pick of the week. I'm doing this a little bit prematurely.
There's no one
but
better.
you guys couldn't
Yeah.
you guys couldn't find anyone better to be a co-host with you on this. Because we mentioned Cheesecake Factory now, I was hoping you'd hold out till about like 8:45 to mention Cheesecake Factory, but my pick of the
Sorry.
week this week is
I know. Let the sharding
Saya.
begin.
Yeah, is Saya's song Chandeliers, and she was on the Seth Meyers show the other day, who I didn't even realize had a show, to debut
Neither.
her song, and instead of actually performing the song, she laid in the top bunk of a bed and had Lena Dunham do like interpretive dance to the lyrics. And Lena Dunham was dressed in an all-white like cotton suit, and she looked like she worked at Cheesecake Factory. So that was just my observation.
That's true.
with the
She looked like
movie.
the maitre d' at Cheesecake Factory
But there's a kid.
because she was wearing like a white blazer.
she was the bouncer at Cheesecake Factory. But
She looked like the bouncer at Cheesecake Factory.
she she reminded me of this guy who lives in my neighborhood who is always wearing all white, and he doesn't work at Cheesecake Factory, but he like has different white jackets, and he's not a guy. I guess he's like late teens, early 20s, and he has a white book bag and stuff. Like he is dressed all white every day, like even in the winter.
What
So
happens
shout
when
out to
people
him.
drive by him and splash him with puddles?
I don't know what happens when
That
he
would
gets
be
his
so
period.
rude.
Like the shit's embarrassing. Like I'm so
Yeah.
embarrassed.
What happens?
Buyer, real talk. Most
Yeah.
dudes don't get a period.
Oh, then I guess.
Yeah, most don't. It's
I guess
true.
the secret's out. I'm a broad. I'm a
You're
chick.
special.
I'm a chick.
I mean, we're not trying to
You're
be
Venus.
sexist here on Coming Inside My podcast. And we're not saying that men can't do this all the same things that women can do. And we're not saying that men are worse than women, but for the most part, men don't get their period.
I think if there's one
Sad.
thing we've learned
I feel
from
bad for you.
political correctness, it's that men and women are exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
difference at all.
They totally, exactly the same. There's no differences
No.
whatsoever.
So
And we should conduct ourselves as such.
we are
yeah,
just
that's
one
great. it
homogenous
out.
gray being, and we are not.
Yep.
You know,
All of
this
our
is a-
parts are the same, and our brains are the same. It's exactly the same.
This is a really good segue. Not only are men and women the same, but so are men, women, and dolphins. And I'll tell you guys why. Because I was reading the news the other day, and obviously I don't read real news like you guys do. I just read the bullshit filler stuff. But there's a BBC documentary that came out that's called "The Girl Who Talked to Dolphins," and it's about former NASA researcher Margaret Howe Lovett. And she talks in the documentary about how in the 60s she was part of this like experiment where dolphins were sometimes shot up with LSD to learn to speak to humans. It's really really crazy, yeah. So she got super close to this dolphin named Peter, and she would like stay in the pool with him and stuff, and he would like get aroused around her and like hump her leg. And so they developed this relationship where she would help Peter like masturbate using her body. So I figured that's a really great story for this family show we have, our Christian evangelical podcast.
Wait, yeah, dolphins are horny rapists. I don't know if anybody knows that, but there are like so many cases of dolphins raping humans. And this dolphin sounds like he's just trying to get his rocks off a little bit, and Margaret's helping. But a lot of dolphins out in the wild are just going out there and raping people, and it's not talked about. And I think we should talk about it here. Why aren't there any like 5K walks for victims of dolphin rape?
Yeah.
There's lots of 5K walks for everything else in this world.
There's an article here of what should you do if you get raped by a dolphin. But it's clear that dolphins are just
What are
part of
the
the rape
top five?
culture.
Do
Yeah,
fish have,
that's
do
true.
fish have dicks?
Yeah, they're just inside, I think.
Is that how fish sticks are made?
So this article says there's two things you can do if you're getting raped by a dolphin. One is relax and enjoy it. The other one is fight back.
Unless it's a Miami dolphin, because then you're going to be on TMZ and you're going to be rich and famous. So just let it happen. I didn't just say that. Sorry.
It's true. Just let it happen.
Wait. Let's drop this topic really quickly. You guys are going to love my next news story. So I don't know about you guys, but my dealers just refer to crack and cocaine as crack and cocaine. But there's a new investigation going into this massive drug ring in New York, and a lot of the dealers have been using the code names Britney for Britney Spears for crack, and cocaine is referred to as Christina, but they actually refer to it as Aguilera. So I think it's pretty funny that 20 years later, these girls are still famous for being powdery and white.
Way to stay
Wait, so
relevant.
that's the euphemism is based on the fact that they're white?
Yeah, no, I just think it's like Britney and Christina are just like a famous pair, and so it's like if you want crack, you ask for Britney, and if you want powdered cocaine, you ask for Aguilera. But funny enough, Christina Aguilera always looks like she has been covered in cocaine. Like she's always like her hair looks like it has baby powder on it. So does her face.
That's true.
She also looks like she eats a lot of jelly donuts. So
Oh, I'm
sure
dying
how
for a
came up
jelly
with the
donut, I know.
I don't like full jelly donuts, but I love the jelly donut munchkins. I could eat like 50 of those. It's
That's
weird.
like eating a bunch of donuts. I don't understand.
I know,
why.
but it's like I don't like I don't like roasted chicken or like chicken wings or anything like that. But I like
What?
buffalo wings. Like I like miniature versions of.
What?
I know. Like
I will eat an entire rotisserie chicken and laugh.
Yeah, from the grocery store in the like greasy bag that you like pull out when all the like bones are falling out of it.
Exactly.
I only eat the breast meat on that. I don't like the other stuff. I'm a.
Oh, I like to
I
dig
eat
into,
everything.
like,
I
the
eat the like
nuggets.
weird gelatinous bits that are like hanging out at the bottom, and I don't even think they came off the same chicken. They're from another chicken, but I still will eat them.
They're not even chicken.
So good. They're not even chicken. I don't
They're
even
not from-
care, but it doesn't matter because they were near the chicken. That means I get to eat them. Anything that is adjacent to chicken, I will eat.
It's crazy. So what's going on? You know, Liz, I know that you wanted to talk about. Speaking of shit, you want to talk about dog shit gate.
Did you guys follow Dog Shit Gate?
Oh, that's okay.
No. That's
So
oak.
there was a flight. I think it was from LAX to New York, and on this flight, one of the passengers had like an emotional support dog or whatever, like had like some huge fucking golden retriever or something, on the airplane, because you can do that now. Like if you get your fucking psychologist to say that you need your dog with you at all times, then you can bring your dog on a plane. And the flight was like delayed for a bunch of reasons, like they spilled gas on like the tarmac and all this other stuff, and they ended up taking off really late. And about halfway through the flight over the Midwest, the dog like got really nervous and got diarrhea and started shitting on the plane. And they ran out of cleaning products to like, they had this like sanitizing stuff or whatever, and people started throwing up, and they couldn't. The whole back of the plane dog shit smell, and they couldn't clean it up, and they had to do an emergency landing in Kansas City.
Ugh.
Because everyone puking because of the poop.
Because
Really?
they took the woman off the plane in Kansas City, and with the dog obviously, and they brought a hazmat team on to clean up the dog shit and puke, and then once they got it ready, they the flight went on its way.
You know, there was one trick who was sitting in a row and wasn't perturbed by it at all. She's like, "I'll have 3 Sky vodkas, please. Just keep them coming."
Just keep them coming.
She's
My
like,
question is, why do you want to take your fucking dog on the plane?
Well, especially like that's a really bad emotional support dog. If it's like getting so nervous that it's shitting itself, what happens
Also-
when you have real problems?
An emotional support dog? Please. Is that what we're at
Yeah,
as like a
totally.
civilization?
Like how is this dog vetted as an emotional support dog? Like I
Because-
really want to know like what were the hoops this dog had to jump through,
The
because
same way
clearly
you
it
get
can't really
vetted for
stand
legal
up.
weed. You show up,
Right.
you go to a doctor
Not at
and
all.
say, this is what I want. Give it to me, and they do.
Why?
Yeah, like,
Why do
can't
I
she-
have these healthcare professionals that won't give me this medication that I keep asking them for? Am I the only person in America who will not be prescribed Adderall and medicinal marijuana? My doctor's just like, no.
Because
You
you're
can't have any of
obviously a
those
drug
things.
seeker.
Yeah.
They're trained to look
I
out for people
know.
like you.
I'm like, can I please have an emotional support dog? Yeah. It's not
You're like-
fair. My
Yeah, but
emotional
you-
support dog would not fucking shit 10,000 feet over.
Would you
the
bring a dog on an airplane?
ground.
I'd rather sit next to a dog than some of the people I've sat next to on airplanes. Like, people fucking stink too, you know? But you know what's
I know.
funny?
I'm positive some. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I fart so much everywhere, but on planes especially, and like I always thought that they do something where you can't smell them. So I'm like a little upset to find out people can actually smell on planes because I feel like my sense of smell just gets turned off whenever I'm like in the cabin with the cabin pressure. So I guess people
Mine
fucking hate me on
becomes
JetBlue
heightened.
Airways. Oh really?
I'm surprised Jen Savage has not tried to classify you as her emotional support dog.
You've flown with her.
Ready
yes.
to go. Yes.
She literally, I mean, first of all, she's the luckiest person in the world because she could do acrobatics in her fucking plane seat. Like I fill mine
Right.
to the max. There's no movement for me. I sit down and I'm in there for 4 hours. She just like curls up and then she'll like fucking like get on your lap like in a ball. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do this? Like I'm like, do you do this with people that you don't know when you travel alone? I could totally see her being like, can I?
Yeah, be like,
nestle on your
excuse me,
breast?"
Mr. Dog.
That is really gross though.
Yeah, I don't
don't understand
really
why
see
dogs
the
can't
need
fly.
of why you would need to bring a dog with you.
Right. I just don't. It's this weird thing that we're moving into where like dogs become people,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's one of those like heralds
Yeah.
of the demise of civilization. Like I feel like the Romans were doing this kind of stuff right before the Huns like swept in and like
Right.
beheaded them all.
Well, wait, did you say what
Right.
kind
We're gonna
of
start
dog this was?
I
Golden Retriever.
think it was one of those hypoallergenic brands, like a cocky poo or a poopy
Brand.
Cocky.
something. Rather.
Shardy Poo Poo. It was a Shardy Poo Poo.
It was a Sharpei poo poo.
It was a Shardy Sharpei Poo Poo.
I mean, I love dogs.
Yeah,
I'd
people are gonna
rather-
start putting makeup on their dogs.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that photo of like two golden retrievers with stockings and high heels on, and they're like laying on a carpet, and the camera's shot from behind, so it looks like a girl's bottom but with a dog top. Google it and have a good laugh.
No.
We'll tweet it out for our listeners.
Anyway, it was a
Woof.
big dog. It was like the size of a golden retriever. There's a picture of it. This guy Chris Law was on the plane and he was live tweeting the whole thing. At one point, he took a picture.
Wait,
of
who
the lady.
was playing?
He's some guy who's like a podcast producer. He ended up doing like some interviews and like his tweets got retweeted. That's how the whole thing like went viral. It's from this guy tweeting
Oh
it.
my god.
That
That sounds like a fucking living hell. I read a lot of Game of Thrones, and they're like talking a lot about chopping each other's fingers off and like all sorts of like horrible shit. But there's nothing worse than I can possibly imagine than like being at a plane where a dog is shitting and other people are puking.
Here's his tweet.
I don't think I can handle that.
Here's his tweet. Can't make this up. The dog has now shit twice. Plane is emergency landing because people are getting sick. Hazmat team needs to board.
That's really dumb and disgusting.
But that's
I
what
can't
dogs
wait-
do. They
I
shit.
can't wait
They're
for us
fucking
to
animals.
break news on the podcast.
I know.
When they're like, oh,
I know.
you know, a big fucking event happened, and the Coming In Sideways team broke news.
White Topaz brings
That's never-
Venus
Right.
into house for the next 20 years. This just in. Shit's cray.
Three fools roll out of bed, record shitty podcast. More news at 11.
Liz, with all that white topaz that you're wearing right now,
Yeah.
I feel like all you need is like a bedazzled letter opener, and you look like you're from the cast of Dynasty. Like, I can't imagine anyone else wearing jewelry
Totally.
like you're wearing right now, and anyone else using a letter opener besides
Yeah.
someone who was on Dynasty.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
jewelry that, as you've described.
Wouldn't it be funny if you had a tool to like open up emails? Yeah.
To open up what?
Emails. What if you like had a tool where you like went around? Because nobody actually opens letters anymore. I wish I had like a bejeweled email opener where I was just it was like a wand, like, ding, opening up my emails.
You should sell that. You should get a bejeweled like blade of some
Like
kind.
a
Sell it as
bejeweled email opener.
Yeah.
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 I mean, you're gonna have stiff competition with keyboards. I feel like you could still take them though.
Yeah.
I feel like you can win this.
I do too.
They're not
I
gonna
feel like I can probably.
They're not gonna dare
I
monopolize
don't think anybody-
the fucking email opening industry.
No, I've got that shit covered. If anybody can get inside the mind of a reticent email opener, it's me. What's gonna make me want to open my emails more? This wand.
You know,
My emails.
you know, if we could come up with one of those, Oak is gonna buy them for us since we ignored his emails over the weekend.
That's true. That's true. He's like, how can I get you fuckers to open your emails?
Liz, I think you could use whatever contraption you designed to open emails to get out of the attic that you're locked in right now. For all of our video watchers, Liz is in a dark room like Flowers in the Attic with just a sliver of light peeking in over her shoulder.
I am doing my best to honor Anne Frank's memory in every way that I possibly can. And I will thank you to respect my efforts. At least I have a window. Bitch had nothing.
You need a little bit
I
of
just like
front
to make
light. You're just the
I like-
silhouette.
I know, I like it. I like it to make it look like I'm testifying, or I am a witness, and nobody can know who I am.
You have succeeded in this.
Thank you very much. I woke up this morning and looked like I'd been beaten by 100 angry dicks, and so I decided I would backlight myself. I did some stand-up comedy last night, and it
Oh
was,
yes, tell us about it.
it was bad. It was one of my worst nights, actually. I got on stage and it was like really, really loud in the venue. Last week I got up. It was the same night, Tuesday nights. I go to the same place every week, the Middle East in Cambridge. And last week I didn't get up till 12:30, and the whole room was dead silent. There like wasn't even anyone there. There was like a couple drunk people just asleep in their beers, and I was mad about that because like nobody was listening. And then last night I got up and like everyone was listening, and it was super crowded, and there like a music show had just gotten out, and it was like just super hectic, and I fucking choked, and I like forgot my joke halfway through, and it was a gnarly scene. But I did it, and I'm gonna do another one tonight.
There you go, kid.
What have you thought about doing?
Yep.
Like, what have you thought about like moments where you do forget what you're gonna say? Do you have anything like backup? Like maybe just have you had anything in your back pocket where it's like, because that shit's gonna happen all the time. Like everyone gets
Yeah.
nervous, everyone's gonna forget something. But do you have something like in your back pocket that you can just be like, all right, fuck, I forgot what that was gonna be, but I'll just use this because it's worked in the past for me.
Well, the problem with that is that when I forget one thing, I forget everything, and my mind just like goes totally. Like I have all sorts of like fail safes before I get up on stage. I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll just talk about like how I am obsessed with people who look like their dogs,
Yeah.
and I forget that too. And
I mean,
it just
what
ends up, like,
what I found works well for us on this podcast is just Bob Dylan singing. So I feel
That's
like
true.
if there's a lull in your stand-up, just be like,
Ooh.
people fucking love it.
I think so too. I did go up on stage wearing a pair of Hunter rain boots and like a big maxi dress, which is like a big gray wife beater. So I just kind of started making fun of my own outfit.
That's awesome.
And that was it was pretty silly. But
Do you have anything coming up that our listeners would want to know about?
I do have a show on July 16th, which is it's like a contest. It's a comedy contest. And I will win if I get the most crowd applause. So we'll have to loop our viewers in so you guys can applaud through the internet
Wait, what day of the
Pack the
week is
crowd.
that?
for me. It's a Wednesday.
Okay, I'm coming up for it.
You don't have to.
I want to.
Well, I want you to, and we'll discuss offline. But we'll tweet this out. We'll put it on our notes so that people can know that they can also attend if they want. It's at the Burin in Somerville. But
I would love to. I think also that I will have a baby then, though.
Yes.
The baby will
your
cheer
baby's gonna
loudly.
be like, of
She's gonna
course.
cheer loudly
And
for
by
everything.
cheer we mean fucking scream
Yes.
miserably.
Yes.
The only honest person in the room will be
Oh,
screaming and shitting everywhere.
Amy and I've decided she's
well,
gonna.
that'll also be me.
Yeah.
She's gonna be what?
She's gonna be very loud.
Oh, hell yeah.
She's gonna be very loud. You guys are both really loud.
Yeah.
No, Amy's not that loud. You're really loud.
Amy could get loud. Amy can get if she's
Yeah.
displeased, she can become
go.
quite cantankerous. I think the baby's gonna take after her.
Totally.
Oak, tell us about how you're preparing, because you're gonna have a new roommate in about like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're trying to like divide the chores into threes. So the baby's gonna like,
Yeah.
take out the garbage and do the
Good.
dishes like every other week. We have a lot of stuff
Good.
for her to do. It'll be nice to
That's
split
good.
the rent 3 ways.
Hell yes.
So it'll be
Yeah,
good.
totally.
We only have one car, so she'll probably drive us around. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm told babies aren't particularly competent, but we have some confidence that we'll just show her what to do and she'll be fine.
Did
I
you?
think that's just something that people say to let babies off the hook just because they're like small, but babies should not be let off the hook.
Right.
They can do just as much as.
So we'll ask her
people
not
can
to
do.
get as drunk as she normally would and flop around on her belly for the next
Right.
year.
Have you watched
Exactly.
those YouTube videos with like that guy who shot videos with his like
Yeah.
infant daughter on how to like defend yourself against a baby attack, and he like body flips her.
I have to
Have you
look.
seen those?
No.
Those
Yeah,
are
that's
amazing.
just really funny. It's the same guy
He
who
does
like
that.
he films this whole documentary about how the medical industry keeps telling him that his daughter's not gonna walk until she turns
Oh,
2,
yeah.
and he's like, I don't believe this. He's like, I don't believe that.
And it shows her like struggle, and he gets her like a little walker
He
and a
gets her a
wheelchair,
tiny wheelchair. Yeah.
and then she ultimately walks, and he like
Yeah,
cries.
he's like, am I disappointed that she couldn't walk her? Yes. Yeah. It's really funny. That's my pick of the week. Yes.
Oh, can we do these types of videos since you're the first with a kid?
Yeah, I'll try to think of something. Try to think of something funny to do with her. We did go to spend last
Guys,
weekend both days at birthing class, which was exciting.
Yeah, how was
Oh
that?
man.
So it was good. It's like mostly common sense. They did have a like session where the dads were supposed to like take this baby doll and then like practice like giving her a bath and like putting clothes on her.
I hope
and-
you pretended to pop the baby's head off.
No, I just fucking ruled at it, and
Obviously.
there were all these other like dorky dudes who were like all stilted and awkward and kept like. She kept like the instructor kept walking around and go, "Your baby rolled off the table. Your baby." rolled off." But my baby
You just
was
killed your baby.
flawless.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No, my baby was fucking excellent. I was
Yeah.
2 steps ahead, but Amy was very proud of me.
That would be a really funny. You know how they have those things where they have like the cops going through the like fake house and like shooting people and being like, "Whoa, now your baby's dead because you shot your mistake."
Exactly. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
good.
My friend works for a private school on the Upper West Side, and they did this program yesterday with the kids. I guess like the elementary school kids were preparing to leave for the summer, and so they had to do this thing where they take care of an egg so nothing happens to the egg.
Oh yeah.
But they did an egg drop yesterday, so they're supposed to pad the egg and like build like a shelter for it, like a little like box for it, so that when you drop it, nothing breaks. So she was telling me how she went downstairs, like the administrators were downstairs while the kids were dropping them hit the floor. It was just like shattering. So she just left halfway through, went back into the building. She's like, these kids all fucking failed miserably.
That's kind of like a macabre conclusion to taking care of an egg for a week. It's like, yeah, take care of this egg with your life, act like it's your child, and then throw it off of a building.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be a big parenting test. Be like, take care of this baby for 3 months, but then you have to design a contraption that when you throw it off a roof, it has to survive.
I'd be comfortable with that.
I know you do. You design a really great. It would bounce. It would be like a big beach ball.
I'm already designing it in my
So
head.
do you feel ready, Hall, or no?
Yeah, we're ready.
ready. Yeah, we're ready.
Amy's ready. She's like,
Yeah.
super uncomfortable and like just
Yeah.
ready. So yeah, I think we're ready. Yeah, we have everything set up, and we have a plan for to get to the hospital and everything. So I feel like we've pretty much like everything we can control, we've controlled, and then from here, would just hope for the best from here on out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I for one am excited.
You'll get a late night call.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
how come kids never come like at a decent hour? It's always like late night, like middle of the night. Labor.
I think I was born at like 1 p.m. I was it was an extremely easy baby. I was born at like 1 p.m. and I did not take that long, and I think I didn't really inconvenience mom that much.
I think I was a huge pain in the ass.
Of course you were, because you're a dickhead.
You're the first. I feel like the second always comes out easier, but the first is always the worst.
I demand everything.
You also tried to wrap the umbilical cord around your neck because you were a super overdramatic fetus.
Because I thought it was your neck.
Totally. That's true.
That would be a good meme. Overly dramatic.
Why are you strangling
fetus.
yourself? Why are you strangling yourself? Yeah.
Well, for us, we're kind of hoping that she comes at a late hour because we're out in New Jersey and we're delivering it in the city, so we don't want to get stuck in rush hour traffic.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous.
But don't worry, if we have to deliver on the side of the road, I got my wide receiver gloves. I'm not gonna fumble.
I'm not like I feel like you and Amy don't even need to go to hospital. Like the two of you are so resourceful and like on top of your shit that you could just deliver it like old school. You're like in the
I kind
bed.
of feel the same way. I kind of feel
Yeah.
the same way.
Run that by Amy. I think she
Yeah,
deserves it.
totally. Yeah.
I feel like
Make
Amy
a
will just
serious
pull.
face about that.
I feel like Amy will just pull the kid out herself and just be done. Be like, all right, we have a kid now.
Right.
Well, I'll let you know how it goes.
That's crazy.
All right, we have a kid now.
Right. Oh yeah, I just walked out to the cornfield and had the baby and came back in. You didn't even
Right.
wake up.
Yeah. I didn't want to be a bother, so
Right.
here we are.
You know, it's funny when like I'm Albanian and Albanians are like kind of it's a chauvinistic society or whatever. And when my dad's mom gave birth, like they had like 15 kids or whatever. So it was like it kind of like lost its novelty after like the first 4. So and back then you were just like you just like delivered the kid in the barn. So like you literally like delivered yourself and then like watched it. No one went to the hospital or whatever, And it was funny because my grandfather wasn't around for like 3 of his kids being born. Not that he was like away for a long time, but he just wasn't there the day that the labor happened, or whatever. And so she would like name the kid, and then he would decide like when he met the kid that no, that's not the good name for it. We're using this name. So like a few of my aunts have 2 names for that reason, because she'd be like, oh, this is what we named the daughter, and he'd like have been gone away like maybe somewhere else in Europe for a couple of days, and he'd come back and he's like, she's not a Fatima, she's an Aphrodite. So I have an aunt named Aphrodite, but she uses both.
Did you have an
names.
aunt named Athena too?
Yeah, and Diana. They're all
And
like
Diana.
Greek goddesses, which doesn't make any sense because they're the antithesis of goddess. Guys, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the movie that I shot this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's hear some details about that.
So it was actually pretty interesting. This is going to sound like a joke, but it was actually for the Asian Film Institute. We joke around a lot about the Asian Society of North America sponsoring. It's not really a joke. They actually do pay our bills. But,
Yeah, who's joking?
yeah, this Chinese girl in my class, after she met me, she was just like, hey, this is really random, but a group of my friends are doing this Asian Film Institute film lab. It's a 72-hour shootout. We'd love to have you on board as one of our actors. And she had never even like really seen me act, but she chose me. And so the way it works is they've actually this group, the Asian Film Labs, Asian Film Institute Lab or whatever, I forgot what the name is. They discovered Ang Lee, who did like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Brokeback Mountain, and a bunch of other shit, and like some other notable Asian people. So the way it works is on Friday night they announce the theme for the movie. So you have to assemble your own group. You have to find your own directors, producers, editors, actors, PAs, all that stuff. And so this girl worked on all that. She got our entire team together. And then Friday they announced the theme. And so Friday night we had to meet, discuss a script. Someone stayed up all night Friday night writing a script. Saturday we shot all day in Prospect Park. Sunday they edited it. Monday there was a little bit more editing, and then submitted it to the contest. So we'll find out in a couple of weeks if we even placed.
Cool.
But you know what the
Dude, that's
crazy
sweet.
thing is? You know what the crazy thing is? Like, they had like professional equipment and stuff, and we're in the middle of Prospect Park, and people were stopping and watching us, and like they thought that maybe we were filming something important, you know? Like there were people like saying like, "Oh, this is probably Law and Order." There was this
Oh, yeah.
one guy stopped by with his daughter, and he was like, "I think they're filming a commercial," and the girl was so excited. She was like 3 or 4. And I waved at her from like the set because we were in between filming scenes, and she looked like a huge celebrity. Just like waved at her. She like looked at her dad all proud, and I was like, "Damn, this feels fucking great! Like I can't wait to perpetuate this rumor that I'm actually famous." But yeah, I mean, it's just a 5-minute movie. I'll share it when we can. Right now, it's embargoed until the contest is over.
Yeah.
But I basically play myself. I play a sassy, fat white guy who eats a lot of French fries and makes jokes about farting. And literally, I could not have been typecasted worse than I was for this movie. I played a unedited clip for my brother yesterday because he's been like super supportive of my acting, and he actually drove me to the set because I have to be there super early on Saturday. And so I wanted him to see it, and my other brother was there. My other brother was like, "You're not even acting. This is just basically you eating French fries in Prospect Park with a Chinese girl." I was like, "It really is." So
Which is exactly what you would be doing on your typical weekend anyway. So.
exactly.
Byron, would you be happy with an acting career where you consistently got roles as yourself in like different like TV shows and like in
Absolutely.
movies? You just
Absolutely.
played yourself like in various roles.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I would be smarter than to do like anything dramatic or like any of these like any serious shows. Like, I would literally like if you could get paid for just being yourself, that'd be the fucking way to go. You know?
That's the career I would want as well.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
awesome.
That's exciting, bro. I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, like I don't. To be honest with you, the way that it was edited doesn't make like the unedited version is really good, but because we have to keep it at 5 minutes, which includes like opening credits and closing credits, like, and they had to do some like tricky stuff production wise, like in terms of like transitions and split screens and stuff. And so, to be honest with you, the edited version, I don't think it makes sense. Like, I don't think you get the story by watching the edited version. So basically, I'll tell you guys what the story's about. It's about, because the theme was the color of my hair, and it's the Asian Film Institute. We decided that, there's not a prejudice. What's the word that I'm looking for? The stereotype is all Asian people look the same, right? And
Yep.
the idea is these 2 Asian girls are on a dating site, and they meet these 2 white guys with my color hair and eyes or whatever. And so they coincidentally both pick Prospect Park as the place to meet their dates. And so there's a mix-up that happens. I wind up seeing the other girl first, and she's a little bit more conservative because the girl I'm supposed to meet is like this free-spirited, like crazy Asian girl. But I assume it's like, hey, it's an Asian girl with jet black hair, so she's got to be my date, And so the girl that I'm supposed to be going on a date with misses the guy she's supposed to be meeting, who's a little bit more conservative, whatever, and her taste, So the whole movie just follows that. But because the way it's edited, I don't think you pick up on the fact that we met on a dating site and there's this mix-up that happens. I think it's just like, it looks like 2 really weird dates happening at the same time.
That's also interesting.
You know what though? Like the way I looked at it was just fucking experience. Like now I know to shoot 5 fucking minutes of a movie, it's literally 12 hours of your day.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool to experience that. It was a lot of fucking work. But you know what I realized? I didn't mind it at all. Like, I can have an easy day at work and still hate it because I'm in an office doing something I'm not passionate about. But standing in a fucking really hot park for 12 hours didn't even feel like work. I was like, I would do this for another 12 hours if it meant, you know what I mean?
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, man. So you were mentioning just a second ago how people think all Asian people look the same.
Yeah.
It's actually true of all races about all other races. There's a phenomenon called cross-race identification bias, and it's the decreased ability of people from one race to recognize the faces and facial expressions of people of another race.
That's crazy.
So it's other races do it to white people too. You have trouble differentiating between the faces of people of another race, but it's not like specific to Asians or black people or whatever. So when you say like you think all black people look alike or you think all Asian people look alike, you actually think all people of any other race look alike, and everyone does.
Well, you know what's tricky about Asian people though? Like with white people, you just like no one's gonna get offended and be like, oh, "Are you European or are you Australian?" Like no one's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you got me confused." But like with Asian people, they're super sensitive about the fact that if you call them Chinese or they're Korean, they get like way too uptight about it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's hard to differentiate between now ethnicities. Like race is one thing, but like
Right.
I feel like with Asians it's more sensitive because it's like how dare you call me Japanese? You know that I'm not. You know.
Well, but like Byram, I'd go through like hundreds of ethnicities before I got to Albanian for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I don't even know what ethnicity we are. Are we Irish or something?
I think we're Scotch-Irish meets white trash probably with
Is
a
that
little
really a
bit of
thing?
dash
Did
of
you just
Chinese.
hear that? Like, are you really Irish? What's a Scotch? Is that like Scottish?
Scottish-Irish. Well, I think we're 75% Irish, 5% Scottish, and then whatever, scullery made. What else we are?
And then, of course, the
We're gingers.
obligatory
We're gingers. That's all that matters.
12.6% Native American or whatever.
Are you guys really?
No.
but
Everybody
everyone
says they're
is.
like some
Yeah.
fractional percentage Native American.
Yeah. You
That
know what's
explains
funny?
my
I have
incredible
no
talent
Native
for
American.
lacrosse.
I'm not native to America.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny?
exactly.
I've never thought about your guys' ethnicity either. Like I really don't ever think about it for friends. Mine comes into play because I'm first generation, so I eat weird food and speak another language.
Yeah, we're just
But,
white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? A friend of the pod,
Just
Jen
white people.
Savage, who we haven't even mentioned yet in this pod, she so randomly she's part Italian, and you would never know until she orders an Italian sandwich. She's like, I'm
The
gonna have,
prosciutto.
yeah, she's like, I'm gonna have the prosciutto, I'm gonna have the soprasat, I'm gonna have the, I'm like, where the fuck are you coming out with that? Your name is Jennifer Saya Savage.
I know. I
Apparently
ordered
she
an
has some
Italian, so I'm like,
super Italian cousins.
can I have the Italian hero with mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I have the Italian hero with potatoes?
Right.
Guys, what's going on with Bo Bergdahl? Is that his name?
I don't know.
Following the story?
No.
Apparently,
No.
it's like what's that Showtime show where the dude like gets captured?
Californication?
No, where the dude gets captured in Iraq and like held prisoner, and he comes back and he's like a mole for the terrorists.
What?
Watch it all the
Not
time.
Homeland.
Homeland, that's the one. It's like Homeland for real. Anyway, so this guy, Bo Bergdahl, was a American soldier in Afghanistan, and apparently, at one point, he sent his parents an email saying a bunch of things like, "The future's too good to waste on lies. I'm embarrassed to be an American. The system is wrong.
Oh.
Title of
Yikes.
U.S. soldier is just a lie of fools. The U.S. Army is the biggest joke in the world. Army of liars. Yada yada yada."
Yeek.
Sometime after midnight, June 30th, 2009, Bergdahl left behind a note in his tent saying he had become disillusioned with the U.S. Army, did not support the American mission in Afghanistan, and was leaving to start a new life. This is in fucking Afghanistan.
Yeah, good luck with that, brother.
Yeah, so Bergdahl went missing the night of June 30th, 2009, near the town of Yaha Kale in Paktika province.
Love Cal.
Accounts differ. In a video, Bergdahl stated he was captured when he fell behind a patrol. Taliban sources allege he was ambushed after becoming drunk off base. Anyway, the short story, what happened is he deserted his unit and was captured by the Taliban.
Wait, he went out and got drunk? In
Yeah.
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
What do you drink? Fucking sheep piss? How do you get drunk in Afghanistan?
Where'd
I
you
don't
get
know. He
booze
brought his
in
own booze,
Afghanistan?
maybe. Anyway, the Taliban doesn't like that shit.
Yeah.
So July 2009, Taliban releases a video showing that captured Bergdahl. Taliban demands $1 million, release of 21 prisoners. Bergdahl, 2010, Bergdahl managed to escape his capture, but was recaptured after 5 days.
Because he went out and got drunk.
Right, and so during this time, there's a search effort to track him down. CNN reported that, according to soldiers involved in the operation to find Bergdahl, at least 6 soldiers were killed in the search.
Wow.
According to senior U.S. officials, Bergdahl told military officials he had been tortured, beaten, and held in a cage. On May 31st, 2014, Bergdahl was released by his captors and recovered by a Delta Force Special Missions unit. I'm looking... Bergdahl, but he was released in exchange for 5 Taliban detainees known as the Taliban 5, formerly high-ranking members of the Taliban government. So Obama made a deal with the Taliban to release 5 high-ranking Taliban officials in exchange for this guy Bergdahl.
What a fucking waste.
Right?
I kind of agree.
So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
kind of
thing
agree.
now. Is
But
that's
we
what
didn't
people are saying.
negotiate with terrorists.
So what people are upset about is the fact that A, this guy deserted his unit and was in Afghanistan and was subsequently captured by the Taliban. What the fuck do you think was going to happen?
Right.
2, that 6 like American soldiers were killed
Died.
looking for this guy. Explain this to their families, and
Right.
then we traded 5 high-ranking fucking terrorists who are now free to plot fucking doom on the world.
Right.
For this
Guantanamo
guy.
Bay is full of non-terrorists. We
Right.
can't give any of the non-terrorists back, but we have to give actual terrorists back. We're putting actual terrorists back out on the street to
Right.
get this fucking boom back to
Right.
America. Great.
So people are, they don't know, nobody knows what to make of this. It's like, it seems like an insane thing to do.
Also, the name Bo Bergdahl, doesn't it sound like the name of like a really cheap clothing designer? It's like, oh, where'd you get those slacks?
Yeah, totally.
So I got them at Burlington
Bo
Coat Factory.
Bergdahl.
They're Bo Bergdahl. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I really like how they're both pleated and cuffed and corduroy. They're really flattering on your body.
Oh, pleated, cuffed, corduroy, and high-waisted. You don't
Yeah.
see that all the time.
Oh,
And-
okay, so
And half culotte. So how did you manage that?
here's a total non sequitur. What's up with the fucking high-waisted shorts? It's like, I feel
Dude.
like I just noticed this for the first time this weekend, or last weekend, because we were in the city, and it was Roosevelt Island Fair, or some kind of fucking hipster
Oh,
event.
the governor's ball?
Yes, and it was all
Governor's ball.
every chick that you saw on the street was wearing these fucking retarded high-waisted shorts. What's up with that?
Dude, I don't know.
Why does
I don't know.
everyone
I don't.
have to be exactly the same and stupid?
Yeah,
I
dude.
have-
It's like those look good on one person one time.
And not
Yeah.
really
I
that
think.
good.
Yeah, I don't
I've
think,
never
I don't
seen-
think they're ever attractive. No.
In real life. Yeah, I've never seen it in real life.
But
Also,
Um,
if you're wearing like tight, high-waisted shorts and like a crop top, and you're like 215,
Yeah. Just not a good look. You know
You're
what?
like a friend
You know
that's
what?
gonna be like, hey.
You deserve to be fat shamed. I'm sorry, Lena Dunham, but you should not be wearing fucking high-waisted shorts and a crop top.
you
You're
don't have
fat.
anyone in your life that's saying like, you know, that's pinching a little bit.
Yeah. That looks like it hurts.
You know
Like-
what's funny though?
You look
I
like a
don't-
mushroom.
I don't even know where my waist is because I have such a big belly. Like I've always worn my pants like below my stomach. So like, if I had to buy the right pant size, I would be like much larger. But I wear my pants at a fucking spot that they don't belong. And everyone's always like, your pants are sagging. I'm like, yeah, because they're not around my fucking waist. They're around my ass. You know?
No, the best is the dudes who have huge bellies and they wear their pants like that bisect their belly and then they cinch their belt so they have like a huge bunt that comes out like under the belt and then like another half of the belly that's like over the belt and they're like they look like a kidney bean.
That's such a good look. That's such a good look. I think you should dress your baby like a super fat man. Lots of like khaki slacks with like belts cinched around the waist.
She's got a lot of awesome clothes. Everyone's been buying us lots of cute clothes. So she has some capes.
I totally got her
Capes.
hippopotamus pants.
Yeah, she's gonna love her hippopotamus pants.
She's gonna love her hippopotamus pants.
Because she's gonna be the hip hoppopotamus.
She's totally gonna be the hippopotamus. I realized those weren't necessarily. I don't think those are weather appropriate. I was angsting about that, laying in bed like, fuck. I got the baby pants that she's not gonna be able to wear at the right time of the season. These are the things that I lay in bed angsting about. I'm like, it's gonna be too hot for her to wear them.
No, but that is tricky because like some kids like they sell clothes that are the size newborn, but most kids don't fit in those. Like most kids go directly into like 3-month-old clothing, so it's really a fucking gamble.
You guys, the baby that my roommate Simone, she's like 3.5 months old now. She's a wee thing, and she still wears newborn clothes. She's like the cutest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, your
she's
roommate
so
is
small.
3 months old?
Yes, my roommate Simone is 3 months old.
And your best friend is 2. Liz.
Yeah, what of it? What of it?
What the fuck is going on?
Babies are better than grown-ups. Babies are better than grown-ups. They haven't turned evil yet.
That's true. They haven't.
Yeah.
They're just
Babies
gonna say
are
whatever the fuck comes into their little like, addled brains.
You know the proportion of time that babies spend thinking about poop compared to the amount of time we spend about poop, it necessarily makes them better people. They think about poop 99% of the time. They've got real concerns.
I don't even know if they think about it. They just fucking do it, which is
so
baller. They're just like anywhere they want. They do that little squat, and they concentrate for a little bit, and then it's just a fucking ass full of shit.
Yeah, Jael does this thing where she goes, stand, and that means she's pooping. You can't touch her, you can't talk to her, and she won't sit down. You know that she's standing, and she gets like really stiff. She goes, stand, and she's pooping.
When we were in Florida in January for Quincy's birthday, she was like, she's such a lady, she's like a little princess, so she propped herself up on like their TV stand, and she started like shimmying away from us, like she just wanted some privacy, and Graham's yelling at us, he's like, don't make eye contact with her, don't make eye contact, she's like very sensitive when she poops, and we're all like looking away, like pretending it's not happening, because they just like, I guess she was a little constipated.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, she's like, she turns away from us, she's like facing the stand, like pressing her forehead against the door, like very like quiet and like almost really shy about what's happening, and the room was full of people, like her grandparents, me, Dad, and Graham's like, don't look at her, look away, and we're like, we're not looking at her. But wait, Liz, this is a perfect segue because you're talking about how kids are gangsters. You wanted to talk about Bodyguard bulletproof blankets for kids.
I don't want to talk about that anymore, I don't think. We just talked about cute babies for too long. And now they're designing individual bulletproof blankets that little kids can wear in schools because there's so many school shootings.
It's such bullshit. It's just an attempt.
How are you going to capitalize upon this? Like financially, how are you? What kind of inventors? Like, oh, I know how I'm going to make it rich. Bulletproof blankets for little kids. Like, who the fuck does that?
So many school shootings. Let's be
right.
Please, it's just fucking bullshit.
We just know about them all now.
I mean, why don't instead of doing that, why don't kids still learn how to save yourself from a bomb by sitting under your desk? Like, doesn't that tactic still work? Like, hey, in case someone drops a bomb on our school, just sit under your desk. You're gonna be safe. Like, what the fuck was that about?
Right, get in a doorway if a bomb drops on you. That'll protect you. I read this one article yesterday, or maybe it was like this morning, and it was like listing off like how there's so many school shootings now, and it's like has this whole list of like school shootings that have happened in the last 10 years, and 4 of them are basically like some guy in his basement like shot himself by mistake, but it was near a school, so it's like counted as a school shooting because everyone wants this to be like this big, horrible, sensational thing.
Right.
Like this art, the
All
world.
fucking politics.
Oh, so it's just about shootings that happen near schools? Because I saw something on Facebook this morning. I didn't click to read it because it wasn't about black women, but there was a map that a couple people shared that showed shootings across the U.S. since Sandy Hook Elementary shooting. So that was just about shootings that happened near a school?
No, but it's like they definitely qualify some things that didn't necessarily count as like school shootings as school shootings just to like bump up their numbers. So they look like a little bit.
And if you look at the actual statistics, like deaths by handgun violence have gone down dramatically in the last like 15 or 20 years.
Oh yeah, that's because my grandfather passed away in 2003. He used to shoot people. He really
Cut a
did.
swath.
He didn't fuck around. He had this like mini fucking revolver, and he would just fucking shoot people. When I was born, I shit you not. When I was born, actually, when all of us were born, because my dad had 4 boys. The thing to do in Albania is like you shoot a gun because you're like proud. There's like another man to carry your name or whatever. And literally in the hospital in the Bronx, my grandfather shot. I'm not exaggerating. Like this sounds way too far fetched, but it happened because it's the Bronx in 1982. My grandfather shot a gun in the elevator because he was in the elevator when he found out that my dad had another boy. So he literally shot into the roof of the elevator. And
that's listed as one of the school shootings, so FYI.
and nothing happened to him. I was like, how the fuck does that happen? You know, I guess it was 82 people were fucking... I mean, it was a hospital in the Bronx. They were probably just like, that's just what happens here.
Right.
Can I just point something out? People complain about America. America's a great country because we don't shoot guns in elevators, and when we do, it's a remarkable circumstance. It's not a
Totally.
And it's like you're celebrating a baby. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like you
can't
be
discharge
mad
a
at that.
firearm in an enclosed elevator, deafen everybody, and potentially cause the elevator to plummet to everyone's death.
But you know what? You know what's funny? The hospital doesn't exist anymore. Like
because so many people shot out the elevator because they were having boy babies.
You know what's funny? Speaking of boy babies and being a kid and in school and something that doesn't exist anymore, when I was in kindergarten, I was shipped off to this school that like no one even knew about. Like the school that I was zoned for was filled to capacity, and so they didn't have room for me. So my parents like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were just like learning the language and stuff, and they're like, all right, we got to send them to another school. So my mom used to walk me to this bus stop where like a school bus picked me up and took me like 10 minutes away or 15 minutes away. But that school doesn't exist anymore, and no one knows where it was. You know what I mean? Like I was the only one who ever went. Like my parents never went there for me, like even to drop me off. But it brings me back to seeing these like blankets for kids, like bulletproof blankets. What schools should do is have a steady supply of clothing for kids who shit themselves, because in kindergarten I shat myself. No, I did shit myself plenty of times in kindergarten because I was always afraid to use public bathrooms. I still am. I peed myself, and my teacher took me to the office, and apparently, like, you know, I was a kid of immigrants, so like I didn't know that you're supposed to bring like a backup pair of clothes that your teacher was supposed to hold for you. So they bring me to the office, and they were gonna give me clothes to change into, and they had like a pair of like, I'll never forget, they were like pink corduroys, like really tiny jeans, and she's like, I know that these aren't for boys, but do you think you can fit into them? And I didn't fit into them. Like I was so fucking fat, and I didn't fit into the pants. And I had to stay in my pee clothes all day because they didn't have clothes for me to change into. So instead of having
why hasn't anybody invented like fucking pee-proof pants, like cool-looking pee-proof pants, pee-proof overalls, pee and poop-proof overalls?
Sounds like a winner.
That's something. Yeah, that's something that like actually will help the children of America,
and
not
me.
these stupid
I need them now.
bulletproof blankets. I know, me too.
Guys, do you have picks of the week? Because it's 9:13. I already gave mine.
Oh. What was yours again?
Mine was Sia's song "Chandeliers" and Lena Dunham singing it,
That's right.
dancing to it.
My pick is Gavin McInnes, who is the gentleman who makes videos of him and his daughter. And so he's done one where he tries to get his daughter to walk, and then he's done a self-defense video, and his name is Gavin McInnes. You will be baby self-defense video.
Oak, please watch those as soon as we finish this podcast.
All right.
You are gonna fucking cry. They're so good.
It's really important. It's really important. Yeah.
My pick of the week is fishing, because I see a fishing rod over my right shoulder.
Nice. All right, guys, really good pod. I'm really proud of this one.
Hey, raise a glass to lack of
Really
preparation.
good thought. I love it. I love it. My pick of the week is fishing.
My pick of the week is Rod.
All right, kids.
Love you
See you
guys.
next week. Bye, guys.
Love you guys. See you sometime next week. Bye.